I am not concerned at all. His swing looks good. He's driving the ball to the opposite field now. He's hitting 270. By the way, he's a 2-for-3 game away, 2-for-3, 2-for-4 game away from hitting 300 on the year.
Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment. What is up, my friends? Welcome to Flippin Bats, presented by Original Penguin, the brand you wear for an original good time. We got Alex and I both wearing our Penguin gear today. If you can tell by this cute little penguin we got on our shirt.
It's our little buddy. Come and hang out for the show.
And it feels great. And what's also going to feel great is talking baseball, because we got a lot of it to do today. We got Making a Statement is back. We're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates playing great baseball. We're going to talk about the Astros and their bullpen. We're going to talk about the Dodgers. We're going to talk about the Red Sox, Josh Jung's injury with the Rangers. Also back, This Week in Shohei Ohtani news is back. We got things that make you go, We got a lot of stuff back. We're back. Baseball's back. Segments are back. So make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. That really helps. And also follow us on TikTok, because we're getting close to 100,000 followers, and we want that 100,000 followers. So, Alex, we got a fun one today. A lot to talk about. Yeah, it just feels good to have these segments back.
I mean, there's a lot. We've officially now had a full week of baseball, right? A lot of things happened this week I did not have on my bingo card, but there were a few things that I did. Mookie Betts being one of them. Going crazy.
Bingo card.
Should we do that? We should have like a bingo card for the month. Like, this is what I think is going to happen, and just kind of do crazy
and not so crazy
things.
prediction.
That would be a fun thing to do each month. Did you have this on your bingo card?
And then
just go out there.
Then randomly we start one show and one of us just screams bingo. We're like, no, damn it.
I love this.
That's a good idea.
I'm into that.
Okay, me too.
Well, let's get into Making a Statement, you guys, because it is back. If you are new to this segment, I am basically going to give some strong statements. Ben is either going to agree with the statement or disagree. And it's everything. Okay, so let's jump right to it. Our first statement: the Pirates will lead the NL Central at the end of April.
You know, first off, how about the Pirates?
Yeah.
One of the last remaining undefeated teams in the game of baseball. As we are recording this episode here on Thursday, the only remaining unbeaten team in baseball, might I add, are the Detroit Tigers, baby.
I know. That I did not have.
I had that on my bingo card.
I did not have that on my bingo card. Did not at all.
So the Pirates are currently 5-1. They do play today. So we'll see what happens there. But they are leading the NL Central. And look, to answer this question, will they be leading the NL Central at the end of April? I did a little deep dive into the schedules.
Okay, let's go.
Because that matters. We're talking about what?
Who are you facing?
3.5 weeks left of baseball. Who are they playing? There's really no advantage for anybody in the NL Central. They're all kind of like a similar sort of schedule. Some easier opponents, I'd say some easy, some difficult. But nobody stood out to me as being like, okay, I'm going to take them. Okay. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to agree with this statement.
Whoa.
I do think the Pirates will be leading the NL Central at the end of April.
Okay.
They've been a team as of the last couple of years that has traditionally gotten off to really fast starts. Unfortunately, tapered off as we get more and more into the season. But yeah, I like this Pirates team. I think they're a lot of fun. Everybody in the world hopefully knows that I think the Reds are going to win this division, and they have done nothing but make me feel great about that pick, by the way. The Reds are looking really good lately. Go into Philly, take 2 out of 3 in Philly. I digress. We're talking about the Pirates here. The Buccos started off the year undefeated, one of the final 3 remaining undefeated teams in baseball. Got their first loss the other day. I really like this lineup. I love O'Neal Cruz at the top of it. Jack Sawinski adds some pop in this lineup. Brian Hayes has been playing good baseball. So, yeah, I'm going to say Why not? I'm going to say the Pirates are leading the NL Central at the end of April.
Which, like, another thing, we were talking about bingo cards. I don't think I had the NL Central being this strong to start the season. Like, everyone's looking good. Brewers look good, as you just mentioned. Reds look good. I think Cubs will be okay. We're going to get to that in a bit. But for the Pirates, the first time since '83 that they have started the season 5-0.
Yeah, I mean,
it's incredible.
Yeah, and that's what the other day, Saturday with Smoltz is back, by the way. I don't know if you knew or the listeners knew. Saturday with Smoltz, so back.
Back.
So that comes out tomorrow, but we also had the first one last week and asked him, hey, what of the teams that might surprise this year?
Yeah.
You know, who's going to be, if you will, the Diamondbacks of this season, the team that ends up being really good and surprises some people. He named 2 teams, both out of the NL Central, the Reds and the Pirates.
Yeah. Okay.
And look at the way they're both getting out of the gates. So, you know, don't let the Pirates sneak up on you. They're fun. They got a good back into the bullpen, by the way. Aroldis Chapman, Bednar back there, when both those guys are healthy and pitching as they can, that's a good bullpen. Look, do I have the Pirates as being a playoff team this year? I don't, but they are a team that I think could push for a playoff spot. And I would say it wouldn't shock me if they can get in. I don't think there's going to be a wild card out of the NL Central. So I don't have the Pirates winning the NL Central, but it's certainly a possibility. Yeah,
it might be a sneaky good down the stretch competition in the NL Central, closer than we thought it was going to be. But when we did our predictions, both Ben and I picked the Reds to come out. Reds to win. Oh, I also had Cubs as a wild card. So
did I.
Yeah. So we did have a wild card out of the NL Central.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Good point. I did say the other day, I feel like, as you mentioned, the NL Central appears to be a pretty good division.
Yeah.
And I feel like I missed on the Brewers, as you know, like top to bottom, this division really does have. I think this is going to be a competitive division with everybody in it all year long. And I don't think it's the best division in the world in terms of talent, but I do think every team in this division can be good. And I think they can all be pretty close come the end of the year. So I do think we're in for a pretty good divisional race here.
All right, let's move to the AL West with our next statement. The Astros have a bullpen problem.
Every time Alex has to say something bad about the Astros, she gives a little giggle first. She loves, absolutely loves.
I'm getting better. Come on.
The Astros have.
I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize I did it. Sorry, it's just engraved in me. I can't. Embedded.
Here's what I'll say. The Astros do have a bullpen problem. They have a depth issue in the bullpen. And currently, Josh Hader has a 6.75 ERA. Ryan Presley has a 7.71 ERA. If I'm an Astros fan, I feel good about that. These guys are far better than that. And those two I'm not worried about at all. Nor am I worried about Brian Abreu in the back end of the bullpen. The Astros have innings 7, 8, 9 on lock. But over the course of 162 games, you can't throw those guys every night. Now, come playoff time, which you got to get to the playoffs, you can throw those relievers. You can, whenever you're winning a game, throw Abreu, Presley, Hader back to back to back. Again, I am not at all worried about those guys. Josh Hader blew his first save opportunity the other night. Am I worried about him? I'm not. Absolutely not. I think their guys in the bullpen are elite. I think they have a depth issue in the bullpen, which I think can hurt them over the course of the entire season. We'll see how that plays out. But to start the year, you know, we were talking about this division. I was worried about the starting pitcher.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, they don't have not necessarily a bullpen problem. They have a pitching problem.
Well,
Two of their guys aren't even in right now. Two of their top guys, your brother, Verlander, Keedy, like they've got issues.
Well, their starting pitchers have my point being, I don't think their starters have an ERA just over 1 to start the year. So what I thought was going to be an issue coming in was starting pitching and the depth And, once you can toss it to that bullpen, you're going to be fine. But where's the depth coming for this Astros team right now? Well, the starters have an ERA just over 1. You have the number 5 starter, Ronel Blanco, throwing a no-hitter out there. He looks nasty. So
incredible.
What I thought might be an issue, I feel like they're a bit reversed. Here we are a week into the year, and it's like, well, wait a second. The Astros are getting Justin back soon. As of Sunday, he's supposed to be throwing a rehab start down in the minor leagues, and Justin's getting close. So now all of a sudden, okay, this starting rotation that I thought had depth issues, what are you going to do once Justin comes back? You going to kick Ronel Blanco out, who just threw a no-hitter? Where are you going to go there? For me, the depth in the bullpen, this is all switched. Now I'm like, okay, now that this season started, I see the issue here. Abreu, Presley, and Hader are nasty. But when you have to rely on some other guys, when a starter comes out after 5 innings, I do think there is a depth issue in that bullpen, and that's what concerns me right now. So I will say the Astros have a bullpen problem. Yes. Unless everything lines up perfectly, yes. I do think they have a bullpen depth issue.
All right, well, let's keep talking about pitching and stay in the American League. Our next statement. The Red Sox have the best pitching staff in the AL East.
No, they don't.
Don't get mad at me.
As of a week, sure, like right now, they're pitching fantastic.
Yeah.
Brian Bayo has been really fun. Pivetta has been really good. Their pitching ranks, if you want to talk about pitching ranks, well, their pitching ranks first through the first 5 games, ranks an ERA first, WHIP first, FIP first, XFIP first. We can go into all the advanced analytics. We can go into average first, walks, K through walk percentage. Oh, I'm hitting the mic. I'm getting so flustered over here. First. Okay, we're talking 5 games. Are they doing great? Obviously. Look at these numbers. They're unbelievable. They're first in pretty much everything starting rotation wise, but I don't think they're going to be first in everything a month into the year.
No.
I don't think April 15th they'll be first in everything. And I'd be crazy if I didn't take the Baltimore Orioles rotation as the best in this division. Why? Well, I was really high on Corbin Burnes and Grayson Rodriguez this year. Corbin Burnes, through 2 starts, has a 2.31 ERA, and Grayson Rodriguez has a 1.50 ERA. Through 11 2/3, Corbin Burnes has 14 punch-outs. Through 6 innings, Grayson Rodriguez punched out 9 guys. I mean, I was high on Corbin Burnes, Grayson Rodriguez, and Bradish. Bradish isn't back yet, but Grayson Rodriguez is, at least through his first start, did everything I could have imagined him more to start the year. I was really high on him taking another step this year and propelling himself from what he did in the second half of last year. This rotation's elite. And once you add Bradish back, John Means, the Orioles have the best rotation in the AL East. And it's not the Red Sox. It is right now, as of us recording on April 4th.
In the first 5 games, they led, you went through a bunch, but led Major League Baseball in ERA, led the American League in strikeouts. Like again, something I did not have on my bingo card was the Red Sox pitching staff, like leading the way in Major League Baseball.
We need bingo cards.
We do. No, this is going to happen.
What is on yours?
We're going to have a fun time. This is stay tuned for next week when we show you our bingo cards and the weird things we put on there. And then it's going to be a fun game throughout the season. Okay? Back to the AL West. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jung's injury crushes the Rangers' playoff hopes.
This just sucks.
It sucks.
Gets hit on the wrist. Originally supposed to miss 6 to 8 weeks with that fractured right wrist.
Yeah.
And then you hear 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, let me do some quick math. That's 2.5. That's a month and a half to 2 months. And then he goes in to get surgery, and they get in there, and it's worse than expected.
Which is never what you want to hear, that after the x-ray, damages are way worse than they appear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for Josh and Rangers, worst case scenario in that situation.
So then a timeline that was 6 to 8 weeks immediately jumps to, 8 to 10. We'll see. So does this crush their playoff hopes? Well, let's not forget last year, Josh Jung missed 40 games. 40 games of the season. I think their season turned out just fine last year.
Yeah.
He's going to end up missing more than 40 games with this injury. But am I worried that this crushes their hopes to get into the playoffs? No, they're in a very competitive division, but let's just say, like, I could argue with you, like, yeah, maybe they won't be able to win the AL West with him out for the period of time that he's going to be, 2 to 3 months. That does hurt, but I still think they're a playoff team. And not only do I think that, this team is going to be potentially exponentially better. I don't think I've ever said the words potentially and exponentially back to back ever.
Sounded good.
They are going to be potentially exponentially better in the second half because you're getting Scherzer back, you're getting DeGrom back. Now, these are all hopefuls, but these are the timelines for them.
Mm-hmm.
So their starting pitching is going to be much better in the second half. Then you're adding Josh Jung back. And I do feel like this team, as is good enough to certainly tread water and be good enough heading into when they get all those guys back. So am I worried about the Texas Rangers playoff hopes? Absolutely not. I think they're a deep team. I think they have a really good lineup. I think their lineup their rotation is only going to get better and better. So yeah, this team can compete for an AL West title. Obviously, without Josh Jung, that really hurts. I still think they're a playoff team. And then you get him back, second half, they're going to be one of the best teams in baseball.
And you have to remember, you mentioned it. Yeah, they had Josh Jung miss time last season, but so did their MVP, Corey Seager, missed a good chunk of time last season. And then they end up winning the World Series. So just to put things into perspective, good teams figure it out.
It's all about getting hot at the right time.
Yep.
And it's a tale as old as time in baseball. You get hot at the right time. You get your team set up the way it should be at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you haven't played yourself out of a race, next thing you know, you're playing yourself into the playoffs with a team that you were hoping to have all year long. That's what you play for. You play to win in October. And right now, the Rangers have a little bit of a setback.
Yep.
Josh Jung being out, their co-aces being out. But hey, there's a world in which come September, they're firing on all cylinders. Next thing you know, they get in the playoffs again and they become the road dogs that don't lose on the road ever in the playoffs and win a World Series again.
Dodgers, some of the hottest bats in baseball right now, you guys. Dodgers will set Major League Baseball record for most home runs in a season.
Well, to do that, let's start with the record.
Yes.
Who currently has the record? The Atlanta Braves just tied the Minnesota Twins of the olden days in a 162-game season with 307. This is last year's Braves team. The Dodgers have 14 home runs in 9 games. So, hear me out here.
Okay.
The Dodgers lineup is unbelievable. Mookie has been on a tear for the ages.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Shohei got on the board with his first, I would say, has, in terms of his power numbers, is not where he's going to be. So let's say those two level out, right?
Yeah.
Shohei's going to hit more homers. Mookie's not going to stay on this pace. And then Freddie is always going to be Freddie. Freddie's going to hit over 300. He's not going to hit
Consistency.
He's not going to hit you. He's not going to hit you 50 homers, but he's going to hit over 300. Stable of consistency. You got Muncy that's going to hit. So I really did a deep dive into
Teoscar Hernandez.
Teoscar.
Who is doing great. He's right behind Mookie Betts with 4 home runs right now.
Yes. So I would say currently,
okay,
you have players in this Dodgers lineup that are on a torrid pace power-wise. They have 14 homers in 9 games. That's on pace for 252. 55 behind the Braves and Twins record of 307. So I'm going to say no. And I'm going to stick with what I said earlier in the year when we were talking best lineup in base. I think the Braves are still the best lineup, 1 through 9. Obviously, 1 through 3, 1 through 4, 1 through 5. I can give you Dodgers. But when we start talking full 1 through 9, this Braves team that set the record, there wasn't a guy in that lineup that couldn't come up and hit a homer. And I don't think the Dodgers are going to be able to, not just keep up this current pace of homers, they have to pick up the pace of homers, which Shohei is going to do big time. But Mookie's got to be on pace for like 60 right now. I don't think Mookie's hitting 60. I don't have that on my bingo card. We'll see if that happens. So I'm going to say no, they don't set the record for most home runs in a season. I could see them getting to around 250 to 270 in there.
I just love hearing you talk about Mookie just absolutely going off. It just brings me back to our preview show.
It does.
Where you doubted me. And I'm really excited about this.
And here we are on April 4th, a couple days into the year where Alex is taking a victory lap over there.
We are nonstop. You gotta. Baby wins. Celebrate the little wins.
Yeah.
Dodgers are.
That's making a statement.
Yeah.
We're back.
You know
what
else
we're
is
also
back?
back with?
Go.
Oh, baby.
I'm excited to see
It is my
this.
favorite segment of all time, and it's back with different colors, baby. It is time for This Week in Shohei Ohtani news. For the first time as a Los Angeles Dodger, we're going to talk about his first homer of the year that he just hit on Wednesday night, his start at the plate offensively, and a little update on where he's at in terms of his throwing program and coming back as a pitcher. We're going to talk about all of that today. But Alex, we have to start with his first home run as a Dodger. It might have taken a little longer than he wanted or the fans wanted, but here we are on April 3rd on a Wednesday, the first night he hit one, and boy, did he get it. And it wasn't even like, this is what's cool about Shohei. He doesn't even need to get all of a ball to hit it 430 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was really cool to see his first one. I'm happy he got it out of the way. And now I think the floodgates are going to open. But fun to see in Dodger Stadium. It was cool that it happened there. I thought it was an awesome moment. And a moment that will forever be in Dodgers history where, first Shohei Ohtani homer as a Dodger. Pretty cool.
Do you want to know a fun fact about that home run?
I would love fun facts.
So his first home run as a Dodger was also on the exact same day that he hit his first Major League Baseball home run on April 3rd, 2018.
Wow. Here it is.
So yeah, his first home run as an Angel happened on the exact same day that he hit his first home run as a Dodger.
If you're watching this and not just listening, can we play exactly that again?
Yeah.
His swing looks so different. As we'll see it in 1 second.
Oh my gosh.
Here.
This is the picture that I
His
have.
swing, look how different his swing looks.
That's the epic picture that I have of the Gatorade shower after the home run. I didn't realize it was the one at Angel Stadium. That was, his first big league home run. I was interviewing him right after that. That's the crazy.
Yeah. That's a great picture. Not to describe. I was
not at all. I was like,
wow, that's crazy, but very cool. That lot going on there. Homer on the same day.
Look at that. Look at his front foot.
Look at just his swing. So
everything.
Different.
His elbow.
He had a big leg kick when he first came over. His swing's so much more compact and powerful these days. Really cool to see.
It was. Now, if you caught that home run ball, what would you have done with it? In the stands.
So that homer.
Yeah.
Is going to be, that ball is worth a lot of money.
You think?
Right?
How much?
So the girl or woman that caught it in the stands. I mean, it depends. I would imagine it could eventually go for
$1 million?
over $1 million. I would say.
Ooh.
What would I do with it?
Yeah.
As in literal me, Ben. Well, if I'm thinking about that, I have to think of like
if he
all
asked you for
that
it.
Shohei has done for me.
Yeah.
Like I have a signed Shohei ball. He signed a bat for me. He also wanted and allowed me to be the one person that sat down and interviewed him one-on-one for an hour. Like I would say, hey, nice homer. And I would give it back. I would give it back.
I would too. Also, like Shohei Ohtani doesn't do a lot of autographs, signing. So he ended up giving the woman, what was it? I think a ball, a bat, a hat. I'm guessing he probably signed those as well. But they talked about it during the broadcast of him going over, meeting the woman, getting the ball back. And I've been a part of like a couple of like big moments where the players get the ball back. And I think the biggest one was Albert Pujols's 500 or 600th home run, whichever one was with the Angels.
Yeah.
And you never know if you're going to get it back, right?
Yeah.
And it's up to the fan. It's 100% up to the fan who catches it. And just the look on their faces, the players, because again, like it means a lot to them too, whether they're going to keep it or it's going to go into some museum. You can tell how much it means to them to get something like that back. So it's that part of it too.
Do you remember the homer he hit in the World Baseball Classic when the person in the stands caught it in the Tokyo Dome and they literally passed it around to one another? That is unbelievable.
That's
to me.
Japan for you though. Like it was so kind and respectful.
Now, yes, 100%. This person, if I'm this person and I'm not me, Ben, they ended up with a bat, a baseball, and 2 hats.
So he's got it, like he signed them, right? Like, and you should get tickets again, right? Shohei Ohtani, like maybe gave you some like really good Dodgers club tickets? No?
I don't know.
That's
a bat.
That they better be signed. They better all be signed. If they're not signed, this is like
2 hats is funny to me. Like,
yeah. I don't know. He better have signed all of it though. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. So first homer, crushed it.
Yeah.
He's back to hitting homers, which kind of leads into the next thing we want to talk about, which is his start offensively.
Mm-hmm.
A little slower than I think he would want, than I think fans want. But you look up now, here we are on, it's Friday. The episode comes out on Friday, and he's hitting 270 with a homer, 4 RBIs, and a 750 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
So good, not great.
I mean, it's the lowest home runs and RBI in his career through 9 games. So obviously, like, we know he's off to a slow start. I feel like he knew This Week in Shohei Ohtani news was coming up. He had to get that home run in right before this segment. But this is not out of the norm for Shohei Ohtani. He has had slow starts to seasons from the beginning of his career. Like his first major league home run was on this same date in 2018.
I am not concerned at all. His swing looks good. He's driving the ball to the opposite field now. He's hitting 270. By the way, he's a 2-for-3 game away, 2-for-3, 2-for-4 game away from hitting 300 on the year.
Yeah.
All right. And next thing you know, he's got 4 RBIs on the year. Well, you can't drive in a guy if Mookie Betts keep hitting homers. Mookie's not on base to drive in. So look, he's going to come up soon with the bases loaded. He's going to hit a grand slam at some point soon. He's going to hit a 3-run homer. By this time next week, he'll have at least another homer, and he's going to have probably double the RBIs he has of right now. I'm going to guess by this time next week, Shohei has over 8 RBIs. So let's just pump the brakes on the worry about the power and the production numbers coming. RBIs are kind of out of your control. If guys are on base, great. Your RBI total is going to be higher. As of right now, every hit that Mookie Betts gets, it's a homer. Nobody's on base. So batting average is there. He's hitting 270. That's fine. Homers, his power swing is back. He just hit his first homer Wednesday night. His swing looks really good and locked in. I have said this for years. When you're watching Shohei, if he's staying inside the ball and hitting line drives or homers to the opposite field, that's when he's at his best. When he's at his worst, he's rolling over balls to second base. So if you see balls getting hit on a line to the left field, left center field gap, that's a very good sign for what's to come for Shohei. I feel like he's locking in.
Yeah.
I feel like the production numbers and the statistics are naturally going to come. I am not at all worried about this being the lowest home run total and RBI total of his career through 9 games. You know why? Because of what I just said. 9 games. It's 9 games. Pump the brakes, breathe. Everything's going to be okay, including Shohei. He's doing just fine. The production will come. And by the way, like, the dude's going through a lot.
Can we, that's what I was going to say. I was like, there's a lot of factors you have to take into consideration here. He did not have a normal start to the season.
Yeah.
Emotionally, he is going through this gambling scandal with his former interpreter who was his best friend and family. And then physically, he is coming off of a major injury that he is still rehabbing, which is why he is not pitching this year. So when you think about the mental and physical aspect of it and him still going out there every single day and performing, still not bad, just not to our Shohei Ohtani standards, he's going to be just fine. Give the guy a break.
Yep. Speaking of pitching and coming back from an injury, We got a little update on where he is. He has now progressed to 60 feet throwing flat ground. He was throwing for the first time about a week or so ago, first time that at least cameras saw. And now he has progressed to throwing 60 feet in his throwing program, which is a great sign, honestly. And there have been murmurs, and these have pretty much been shot down, but Shohei hasn't written off that he has an outfield glove and he might want to play outfield this year. So
of course he does.
Honestly, that is kind of joking, but kind of maybe it could happen. But I think that speaks to where he's at in his throwing program and how he feels. Surgery was successful. Whatever the hell we're calling the surgery.
The non-Tommy John surgery?
The non-Tommy John, don't say Tommy John. Kind of looks like Tommy John, but we're not saying Tommy John surgery.
But it was UCL, which is Tommy John surgery.
Yes, but I'm not.
Fine.
By the way, after hearing more and more about it, I'm not convinced that it was a typical standard Tommy John surgery. I do think it might have been like a little, maybe it was this experimental thing. Maybe it was a little different. I don't know, but I digress. The rehab is also seemingly like Tommy John rehab.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
but it's clearly the
is.
surgery went well. The throwing program is going well, and he's now back to throwing 60 feet. So all good news there. Hits his first homer.
Yep.
Alex. Slow-ish start offensively that he's starting to pick up and going to be just fine. And throwing program-wise, Shohei's throwing a baseball.
Yeah.
And that's always a good thing for the game of baseball. And always a good thing for this show is the fact that my favorite segment of all time this week in Shohei Ohtani news is back.
It's good timing, though, with that home run before this.
I feel like he always does.
I told you the day before, he knew. He knew.
He always.
Alex and Ben are going to be talking about me this week in Shohei Ohtani news. Let me give him a little something to talk about.
I hope they have a new blue light show. Well, guess what, Shohei? You did your part, and we did our part.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got a new segment that we're starting this year called Flippin Shout Outs, okay? So we're going to shout out a team or a player that might not be getting talked about as much as the big stars, the big teams. So Ben and I are each going to pick either a team or a player each week. So Ben, who is your flippin' shout out this week?
Mine is Ronel Blanco of the Houston Astros. Now, let me set the scene here. The date was, I don't know, it was about a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
His last start of spring training. His day, he spent the entire day at the hospital. Entire day at the hospital, having his second child, a baby girl. Had the child. Well, he didn't have the child. Most of you know how that works. He didn't specifically have the child, but the child was born. He left the hospital to go pitch that night in his final spring training start. He had not yet made the team. So he pitched in that game, started. Joe Espada, the manager, goes out to the mound, pulls him out of the game, and as he's pulling him out of the game, says, "Congratulations, you have made the opening day roster, and you have made the starting rotation, and in 6 days, you're going to make your first start of the season." And there's a really, really cool photo of him walking off the field, pointing up to the sky. Joe Espada and Altuve and Pena and Bregman are all standing behind him. Everybody's smiling. It was a really cool moment, because of just once you heard what was just said on the mound, for them to have that moment was awesome. And
That's
if you're
so
watching,
cool.
you can see the photo now in the wall. He's so excited. Everyone behind him is so excited. So he made the team, made the starting rotation. 6 days later, gets his first start of the year, his 8th start of his career.
That's crazy.
And he threw a no-hitter for the Astros in his first start of the season after having a child 6 days prior and having to be at the hospital all day and go to the stadium to try and make the team. Just honestly, this could be the feel-good story of the 2024 season.
Yeah.
And it happened 5 days into the year. Unbelievable story. Really special. Really, really cool.
That's got to be like one of the fastest thrown no-hitters to a career. He's an 8th like major league start.
Yes.
And he throws
His A start. I believe
no-hitter.
I saw this.
Okay.
I don't know the stat off the top of my head, but I think it's around like the 4th or 5th fastest ever. Somebody did it.
Someone like their debut throws a no-hitter.
Somebody threw a no-hitter on their debut long time
I'm like,
ago.
is this
We're talking
pre-TVs?
We're talking like bullet trot.
Yeah,
turkey,
no. That's different. Yeah, where they're second jobs. They're weird names.
Oil Can Boyd.
Real or fake?
We should. That is a fun game.
We're going to add that too.
Baseball.
We'll add that in too. Bingo cards, real or fake? Baseball names.
Okay, that is mine. Alex, who's your shout out this week?
My flippin' shout out is Jackson Chourio, a young Brewers outfielder who is off to an extremely hot start. Now, he is the youngest player with a home run as early in the season in April since Adrian Beltre in 1999. Like, he just turned 20 years old on March 11th. He's Major League Baseball's number 2 prospect. He signed an insane deal, an $82 million 8-year deal before playing a single Major League Baseball at bat. The richest deal signed by a player with no MLB playing time. He's from Venezuela. His younger brother also plays baseball. He's in the Guardians organization. I love seeing stories like this. Prospects living up. He just turned 20 on March 11th. Yeah.
Wild.
But yeah, Brewers again, like also off to like a strong start. And he could be like a big name and big reason, like we were talking about. That division might be a little hotter than we expected.
It's just fun to see. It's cool to see like a prospect like him, as you said, number 2 prospect in baseball.
Live up to the expectations.
Come up had just turned 20. Hits a homer when he was 20 years old and 23 days.
Yeah.
First homer in the big leagues. It's cool to see somebody. I mean, he's hitting 350 on the year with a homer, 4 RBIs, and a 931 OPS.
Yeah.
It's cool to see guys get those young contracts that do pan out.
That's a big contract for a young guy who would never played a single or had a single Major League Baseball at bat.
Yeah.
Here you go. 82 mil.
Good
cool.
for him.
It's cool.
Good shout out. Good shout outs.
Good shout out.
You know what's back again, Alex? This is one of my favorite segments we did last year.
Yeah.
Things that make you go,
Yeah, so it kind of explains itself, you guys. We're gonna have a couple different topics about things that make you go, and it can be a lot of different hmms, like or They go all over the place.
They do.
It's a lot of different meanings. So let's get started with our first things that make you go, The Oakland A's, you guys. Everything about this. I mean, even just recently they announced this will be their last season that they're playing in Oakland. They're moving to Sacramento until their Vegas stadium is ready. And there were signs because there was an alleged one sheet that was found.
Yeah. So this is, there's a sheet of, if you're watching, you can see. If not, trust me, I'm going to explain it. So this was for the game on April 2nd against the Boston Red Sox. Fan in the stands finds a piece of paper that basically just goes, it's a little rundown for employees of the stadium. Now, there's a couple things in here that are absolutely preposterous. First off, let's start in the customer service section. One thing says, I understand the fan base may be upset with the team, but do what we can to make their experience with us a positive one. That's a great message, and that is true. But let me just say this. Nobody is upset with the team.
No.
And everyone is. It's not may. They are upset and pissed off with the ownership of the organization. That's the first thing. Next up, under product, if you see anything that says, quote, rooted in Oakland, it must be taken down immediately. Also under product, try not to highlight product that focuses on the name, get this, Oakland.
That was the sign.
Oakland.
That was the sign that this was about to go down. Like a little foreshadowing here. Oh, and not to mention attendance, 3,500.
Yes, but if attendance was under, this is another thing, Seagate closure.
Yeah.
If attendance is under 5,000 for a game, the team will be closing Seagate. Well, worry not, Seagate. You didn't have to open up because the attendance was 3,500. And this ends off by saying, Drew is here all week. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. I have concerns, Drew.
Yeah.
I have a lot of concerns.
This is bad.
Tough.
I feel bad for Oakland fans. I feel bad for A's fans. I feel bad for the players because it's not going to be a Major League Baseball atmosphere at the ballpark at all. People are upset. As we saw last year, there was a lot of the holdouts. What's the proper word? Don't show up.
Huh?
Where they say like don't show up to things, or they do like the reverse.
Oh, lockouts? Or
Riots,
reverse boycotts?
Boycott.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, this affects the fans, but it's also going to affect the players. Like when you're playing in a stadium that's supposed to be a Major League Baseball atmosphere and it's not because the fans aren't there. There's 3,500 fans there to watch your game. It's not the same.
Well, worry not, Alex.
Yeah.
Because the new news that has come out is they are not going to be playing at the Oakland Coliseum going forward. And starting next year, they are going to be playing in Sacramento at a stadium that seats 10,000 people.
They won't fill that either.
This is all apparently, I do believe the MLBPA, the Players Association, has to vote on this, and I don't foresee them allowing this. But what is said is that the Oakland A's have announced that they will be playing the 2025 through the 2027 seasons in Sacramento. They will be playing at Sutter Health Park.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
How can you make that announcement before it's actually been voted through?
Because they're just playing mind. They're manipulating. They're just
I was like, because if
everything.
it's not approved, then you're not necessarily going to be playing there or moving there. Similar to kind of when they announced like, oh, we're going to Vegas before it actually got officially voted through. Shame on you.
It's not
it's
good.
just no, it's bad.
Their attendance on Sunday, this past Sunday, was 4,100.
Oof.
The Sacramento River Cats, where they'll be playing in Sacramento, their attendance was 4,900. So the Sacramento River Cats had more attendance than the Oakland A's. So
that's so bad.
Yeah, things that make you go, just the Oakland A's in general.
Yeah.
Just an absolute nightmare. It's embarrassing. This whole process has been embarrassing. And it almost just feels like, we just need to get through these few years and get the A's to Vegas if that does end up happening. But it's like, what in anybody's mind, if you think the Oakland A's are going to become the Las Vegas A's and just start spending money, if you think John Fisher is going to get there and start spending money and become this like powerhouse team that's buying all these free agents and getting all these big contracts, you haven't been paying attention lately. This organization's a joke. Mm-hmm. He needs to sell the team. I'm not one to call for people's jobs and say, sell the team.
Yeah,
John.
You need to sell the team. Okay. We're staying in the AL West for our next two things that make you go, Anthony Rendon is hitless. 0 for 19, but hitless since July 4th of last year.
Yeah, Alex, you and I have as many hits combined as Anthony Rendon does. That's tough. 0 for 19. Look, it's so good. Somebody posted his spray chart the other day for hits this year, and it's just complete since July 4th.
Yeah,
Anthony Rendon's spray chart, and there's just nothing on it. It's just a tough look after everything that he didn't play last year, and the way he handled it with the media by basically making a mockery of them doing their job.
No
habla
inglés,
and pretending he can't talk to them and doesn't want to answer questions on why he's missing time still. And then comes out literally like a week before opening day, basically saying like, baseball is not a top priority for me. And again, I do think there was a degree of that quote getting a little blown out of proportion. He said, my family and my faith are top priorities. Baseball is not a top priority. He didn't say baseball is not a priority, but still, really,
you can have a top three.
No need to say it. No, there was no need to say what you said. Nobody needed to hear that. You didn't really need to vocalize that, and nobody's mad at you for prioritizing your family and your faith over baseball. But it really just felt like there was no need to say it. And you also could have followed up by saying something like, I do love this game. And I do want to be better for the Angels. And I do want to play 150 plus games this year. And I'm going to do everything in my power to do that because I love playing baseball and I want to win with the Angels. That seems like an easy thing he could have said, but he didn't. And to start the year, he's 0 for 19. doesn't have a single hit and doesn't really look like he cares.
I mean, if you're getting paid millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're saying your job is not a top priority, what are you doing? That's disrespectful to the fan base, to the team, to your bosses, to everything. And again, like, it doesn't mean that other things can't be prioritized above your job, the game that you're playing that has given you this life that you're able to have to provide to your family. It just, it rubs me the wrong way. It doesn't feel right. I feel bad for the Angels. I feel bad for Angels fans.
Yeah.
Again, I just feel bad for Angels fans that this was a big free agent they spent a lot of money on, and he's missed more games than he's played. And obviously doesn't care as much as you want someone to care getting paid that much money.
They've really missed a lot on a lot of their big free agent signings. Josh Hamilton, and obviously these are for different reasons, but Josh Hamilton, Albert Pujols' contract was a failure for sure. Gary Matthews Jr., Anthony Rendon, like, they have spent a lot of money on not productive players. So, and I'm not saying that they've never been, like, Pujols had some productive years in Anaheim, obviously. But when you're paying him that much money, obviously you need more. And that's what happens when you give a guy a decade-long deal when he's already over 30. Yeah. And then next thing you know, the end of his contract, he's hardly able to run down to first base.
You're paying him to hit those historic milestones in your uniform is what it felt like towards the end.
Right, which is not what you want to.
No,
what you want to do.
Not at all. Okay, our last things that make you go, This is a funny, Jose Altuve giving Alex Bregman a single in a very unique way.
This is a fun one, and I'm excited to explain it because I don't think a lot of baseball fans know this or know the ruling on this. And this is something that we used to do in the minor leagues. So the other day, Alex Bregman's up with 2 outs.
Yeah.
Jose Altuve is running on second base. Bregman hits a slow rolling, trickling ground ball over to third base, right to the third baseman. Jose Altuve runs into it for the third out of the inning, right? Altuve is called out, ball hits him, he's out. What most people do not know is that this counts as a hit for the batter. If the runner on base gets hit by a batted ball, that runner is out. The batter is awarded with a hit. So if there's ever an instance like this where it's an easy third out of an inning, they're just going to they had plenty of time to pick it up and throw him out at first base. It's an easy out. Altuve, you can't tell me that this wasn't intentional. Why not? Get your boy a hit. Run into the ball. It's not going to hurt. The ball's going like 5 miles an hour. Run into it. It hits Altuve in the leg. He doesn't even have a reaction at all. Oop, I'm out. Alex, hey, nice hit, buddy. Bregman gets a hit there. Bregman's hitting 200 currently. Get your boy a hit. There's no reason not to. We used to do this in the minor leagues all the time. There would be times in which I'd be on first base, slow roller to the second baseman, slow runner out of the box. I know he ain't getting, it's my boy. I like him. Punt that ball into left field. Who cares? I'll be out. You get a hit. Inning over.
It's funny because I didn't think about that, but when you watch it, because we're playing the video on loop, Jose Altuve kind of slows down and does like a soccer stutter step, getting ready to like get contact with the ball.
Yeah. Punt it, just a little knee right to it. Doesn't hurt anybody. Helps your boy out.
Just get body on ball.
So I love it. I think
great.
I don't think many people know the ruling behind it. And the second I saw it, I was like, Bregman's getting a hit out of that. That's an awesome move. Good for Jose Altuve. Get your boy a hit. Absolutely love it. And that wraps things that make you go, That also does it for our episode today. Tomorrow, Saturday with Smoltz. Again, every single Saturday throughout the season, the Hall of Famer John Smoltz will join me. Really cool for me. Grew up a massive John Smoltz fan of the Atlanta Braves. And we just talk everything happening around the league. He shares some really cool, funny, crazy stories all the time. So if you haven't ever checked out Saturday with Smoltz, do it tomorrow. And if you're not subscribed or following Flippin Bats, do that right now. Click that follow, subscribe button, Apple, Spotify, wherever. You can also watch on Spotify, on YouTube at Flippin Bats Pod there. And we're on all social media. including TikTok, where you should go follow us because we are getting closer and closer to 100,000 followers, and we really want 100,000 followers. So thank you all for listening. That does it for this Friday episode. Until tomorrow, Saturday with Smoltz, we appreciate it. And remember, everyone, find your bat and flip it.